We are seeking paradise in Montevideo, Uruguay. It has been rated as having the highest quality of life of any city in Latin America. We explored the beautiful Ciudad, Vieja, the old city, the port area, parks, the Rambla, Teatro Solis, and an amazing bodega. With average weather ranging from 45 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year, will this be our paradise? Let's take a look at our dream home requirement checklist and stay tuned for our final decision.
On this travel adventure, we're headed to Montevideo, the capital of Uruguay, with a little over 1.3 million residents. It's a coastal city on the Rio de la Plata that empties into the Atlantic Ocean.
We take off from Guadalajara, excited for this trip, as Montevideo is in the top of our list to live in based on our requirement list.
Okay, so we made it to Panama City. We got a 4-hour layover over here and 7 hours towards Montevideo.
Walking tipsy. We liked Copa Airlines. We had no issues at all, no hidden charges, and an easy check-in.
Time past midnight in Montevideo, Uruguay. We made it with no problems. We're heading over to a hotel. Although Uber is available, how do you say no to a fleet of Mercedes-Benz taxis waiting for you?
We arrived to our chic waterfront hotel for our first 2 nights. It was a great stay with amazing views and located close to a lot of the cool city attractions.
We take off early the next day into the city. So far it looks beautiful, but let's see how it measures up to our paradise requirement checklist.
Walkability,
Short walks to markets and shops.
average weather,
Nothing lower than 65 degrees and no hotter than 80.
cost of living,
Has to be low and affordable.
transportation,
Subway, bus, Uber, bike lanes. No more than 45 minutes away from an international airport.
distance to the beach,
Ideally, less than 2-hour drive.
home prices,
Under 200,000 US dollars to buy or less than 1,000 a month to rent.
safety and security,
We want to be able to walk at night, good police presence,
things to do,
outdoor activities, music, art scene,
good medical care.
close to major hospital and low insurance premiums.
We added a more detailed breakdown in the video's description below.
Across from the hotel, we begin our long walk on La Rambla, an avenue that goes all along the coastline of Montevideo and also the longest continuous sidewalk in the world. It's been proposed as a World Heritage Site, and it provides residents with a variety of activities such as jogging, biking, parasailing, kite flying, beach soccer, and more. Actually, Uruguay was the first nation to host the FIFA World Cup back in 1930. Building anything across the Rambla on the side of the beach, which is 100% state-owned, is regulated to prevent ruining the gorgeous views. We rented a couple of bikes and took on the challenge, but only made it to 6 miles.
Montevideo is the largest city in Uruguay, but the distances between city points are actually short and great for biking or even walking. If you want to travel from one end of the city to the other, it will take a little over an hour and a half via bus. One of the most sought-after neighborhoods for expats is Ciudad Vieja, Old Town, where we start our day at the local cafeteria to try some of their typical empanadas. Amazing.
A trip down Sarandí Street, the main pedestrian street in the entire city, we find the Uruguayan Walk of Fame, where important figures chosen by the local community get a golden sun in recognition of their contributions to the Uruguayan society. Ciudad Vieja is known as the oldest and most popular tourist area in Montevideo for a good reason. Its old-world charm and beautiful architecture gives that relaxed European influence setting, hosting tons of shops, restaurants, souvenir stands, street vendors, and performers.
We loved the fountain at Plaza Constitucion, also called Plaza Matriz, inaugurated in 1871. The fountain symbolizes the first water system in Montevideo. It's made out of beautiful marble. It has a circular basin decorated with 4 fawns and 4 children representing the essence and innocence of energy. It's one of the most vibrant corners of the capital.
Located on the edge of Montevideo's Old Town, we find the magnificent Teatro Solís, Uruguay's oldest theater, built in 1856 and owned by the government of Montevideo. Teatro Solís is the heart and soul of the city's performing arts scene. Its roster is packed with comedy, opera, ballet, orchestras, and plays.
Next door, we find the Gateway of the Citadel, one of the few remaining pieces of a Spanish citadel that was destroyed in 1829 when Uruguay became an independent nation. El Centro begins with the city's main plaza, Plaza de la Independencia. In the center of the plaza sits the monument and statue of General José Gervasio Artigas, the national hero who defeated the Spanish, birthing the new nation of Uruguay in 1828. Going up Avenida 18 de Julio, we find a cool little fountain called Fuente de los Candados, where the legend says if a lock with the initials of 2 people in love is placed in it, they will return together to the fountain and their love will be forever locked. We did not leave a lock there this time. We're waiting to see if Montevideo is where our paradise home will be.
Right next to the fountain is the statue of Carlos Gardel. He was a singer, songwriter, composer, actor, and the most prominent figure in the history of tango. There's been a long controversy about Gardel's actual birthplace. It is assumed that he was born in France, as there is a French birth certificate. However, there's a passport stating his birthplace as Uruguay, and that he came to Argentina at the age of 2, where he lived most of his life. Regardless of the controversy, the talent of Carlos Gardel was appreciated by my grandfather. I remember listening to him together on Sunday mornings. Gardel was our favorite tango singer.
In El Centro is where you find historic architecture, also location of most of the hotels, restaurants, theaters, art galleries, museums, more monuments, and original plazas. Montevideo is not a huge capital city with the usual hustle and bustle. It's a mellow city with a relaxed vibe. The nearest ocean beach is at the popular area of Punta del Este, with estimates of 500,000 tourists during high season, mainly from Argentina and Brazil. We didn't make it there to avoid the crowds, since we were in the middle of high season.
For a quick bite, I tried the typical chivito, a Uruguayan pride and famous not only in the country, but also abroad.
Oh, pretty damn good.
There are several well-reviewed hospitals in Old Town Montevideo. It's ranked 66.87 for healthcare by Numbeo.com. It has high satisfaction rankings in nearly every category. Montevideo's cost of living is better than our hometown in Virginia, but not as cheap as Guadalajara. We found many neighborhood markets with most stuff available and reasonable prices, but we still feel the cost for day-to-day living would be too much based on our other requirements. According to Numbeo.com, it is 46% cheaper to live in Montevideo than New York City.
Uruguay legalized marijuana in July 2017. You must be a Uruguayan citizen and can only purchase from pharmacies, and you have to stand in line. Not because pot is flying off the shelves, but because only 17 of 1,000 pharmacies in Uruguay sell it due to the pressure from the banks.
Uruguay suffered a hard financial crisis in the early 2000s that left many buildings abandoned as citizens fled the city. Many remain empty today, making the city feel a bit sketchy at night. Because Old Town is in a business district, most restaurants only open for lunch, and the city becomes a ghost town in the evenings. Locals warned us not to go out at night, but when we did not feel unsafe. Montevideo's real estate market is in a recession after a surge in sales from 2003 to 2011. There are no restrictions on foreigners owning property in Uruguay, and deals are usually in US dollars or cash, as it is difficult to get a mortgage. Uruguay is obsessed with their mate drinking. Drinking mate is the Uruguayan way to celebrate sharing and friendship. The pride at which they speak about mate is beyond just a drink, it's a lifestyle. You see almost everyone drinking mate and carrying their thermos and cup. Our last night we had to go to Prime Museum, a very intimate, vintage restaurant serving a multi-course meal with unlimited wine. Woo-hoo! And a beautiful live tango band for a perfect ending to our busy day. And I'm very excited to be at Bodega Busa. About 20 minutes outside of downtown Montevideo.
Well, our Uber driver was a little too slow. Take a look. Supposedly the best wine in Montevideo around here.
This was one of the highlights of our trip. It's in an exquisite setting with perfectly manicured grounds. They offer 1-hour tours through the winery, vineyards, wine cellar, and a classic car museum. tasting after the tour or the Boza Experience, a 5-course lunch with paired wines. Get the lunch. You will not be disappointed. Mercado del Puerto, a lively market located in front of the main port, with many restaurants offering the famous Uruguayan parillas. It's been in business since 1868, and it's where you can get a taste of charcoal meat, delicious and characteristic of Uruguay. You better get there early though, because it's not open after 6 p.m. We had a great time in Montevideo. There was a lot to see, and it's definitely a city that continues to rebuild. And they're doing an amazing job. We can see why they are rated highest for quality of life in South America. It's truly a charming, small city.
Uruguayans are very friendly people and proud of their local customs and national traditions.
Yeah, I love the mate.
And I love the empanadas. But the clear winner, hands down, was the parrillas. The flavor and those meats were to die for. So let's see how Montevideo did on our checklist. Is it our paradise or not? There are many great things Montevideo has to offer, but it has to be perfect for us and our forever home. With 6 out of 10 of our requirements, Montevideo falls close behind Mazatlan, Mexico.
The negatives to us were the crowded ocean beaches, even though they're only 2 hours away.
The home prices were too high in the areas we liked, that's Pocitos and Carrasco.
We didn't see a lot of police presence at night around Old Town and the port area, and the streets were deserted.
There was no nightlife and not many things to do for the long term. The largest city of Buenos Aires is only a ferry ride away, but that could get very expensive.
Yeah, overall, Montevideo was a wonderful experience. It spoke to us with its charm and old-world feel, the beauty of its tango music, and the kindness of its people. It's often overlooked, but it is truly a gem in South America. Although we feel Montevideo is not the paradise for our forever home, we still recommend a visit. Its beauty will entice you, and it may be your paradise.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and look out for our next video, Seeking Paradise in Ensenada, Mexico.